I'm Brandi Francis.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll talk about some summer safety tips and take a walk along the WB&A Trail. But first, making headlines this week. We have an exciting update for you on the job front. We already knew that in March, the county had officially hit a record number of jobs with, get this, Brandi, more than 270,000 total jobs.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
Whoa. Everybody step back. Well, we have more information from the Maryland Department of Labor, Licensing and Regulations, and the news is even better. It turns out that that Anne Arundel County grew faster than any other county, and it was by a lot. Over a 5-year period, we gained almost 50,000 jobs.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's compared to the next biggest gainer, Prince George's County, which added 30,000 jobs.
Measly.
Oh, we
Right.
like Prince George's.
We do.
We're making fun.
Yes.
So how about these numbers?
I can't believe it.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
We are the best. We are the best. Well, experts say some of that success comes from our super turbo engine known as West County, which is home to Fort Meade, Northrop Grumman, and Maryland Live, which makes a lot of sense. Lots of job opportunities. But we're just getting started. The sky's the limit. Welcome back to the show, Brandi.
Well, thank you
Second
so
time
much.
hosting.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Good to see
but
you.
It's always great to be here.
I love my energy with Brandi. I love when we host.
Yeah.
Got that, Dave?
Right.
Yeah.
Might not come back, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Well, Kristin, let's talk about one of Sarah Gannon's favorite events of the year.
Yes.
It is coming up, and it's with the police officers.
Yes.
Anne Arundel County police
Lots
officers.
of men in uniform. Women,
Yes.
too.
Yes. It's National Night Out. It's
Woohoo.
coming in August
Yay.
1st to your hometown. And, of course, the event is on Tuesday night, and you can look forward to all kinds of cool stuff. Should I give them the list?
Give them the list.
All right, you ready?
Do it.
You've got hot dogs, hamburgers, ice cream, music, games, police officers, canine demonstrations, which are really cool, by the way.
Really
Have you ever
awesome.
seen those?
Very, very cool.
Amazing. And fire engines. We've got police officers, and of course, dancing.
Dancing!
We were just talking about, I don't remember the last time.
I went. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Yeah. That's because we're adults, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 2003, 2004.
Did I mention police officers would be there?
Did you say police officers?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, so I love when they bring the helicopter. That's always
yes.
exhilarating for me.
It is.
There it is.
And all the kids love it too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring the kids out. It's a great night.
So much fun.
And there are numerous celebrations, including Annapolis, Fort Meade, Shadyside, and a huge one in Severn and Crofton, and many more. And you can go to our homepage at aacounty.org and click on the National Night Out Spotlight to get full list of locations and times. So are you going to go, Kristin?
Recycling Division will be at the Shadyside, the Crofton Library, the Early Heights one, and Brooklyn Park.
Awesome.
So you can catch us there.
Great.
And just like you said, lots of fun, lots of giveaways. We're going to have tons of freebies. Great opportunity to get your kids out. But most importantly, the message behind National Night Out is about interacting with our men and women in uniform, not just police officers, but also emergency and fire, so that you feel like there's a healthy presence in the neighborhood and that you can share information about things you might be concerned about.
Yes,
so,
and I think that they also have a new dog, Comfort. Have you seen the dog?
No, I haven't, but I love
Oh,
puppies.
yes, Lieutenant Ryan Frazier has Comfort, and he helps victims. He helps children in the community. It just makes you comfortable looking at a police officer and being able to feel comfortable talking to them. It's really cool.
And you
have
said
to
the
have
puppy's
him on
name
the
is
show.
Comfort?
Yes.
Comfort, come to Brooklyn
He's
Park.
so
I'll
cute.
be at that one.
Service dog.
That's awesome. Very exciting. Yeah, National Night Out's a great event, and everyone works so hard. So make sure you get out and support your local communities.
Please.
Event. Well, we have some very sad news to report. Russell Reihl, a young man who gave the keynote address at our first heroin town hall, passed away several months ago. We were really sad to hear about this because Russell was a bright young man who really made an impact on all of us. He really wanted to kick his habit, but was unable. I can say that Russell wanted to become an addiction counselor, and in death, maybe some folks can learn from his story and never try prescription drugs or opiates. You can learn all about Russell on our YouTube page. Just search for Arundel TV and click on the playlist for heroin. We want to send out our condolences to Russell's family and friends. We were really pulling for him. He grew up in Nabbs Creek, Brandi. That's a place we all know so well.
Right. And honestly, we have the Not My Child presentation.
Always a really
Please.
great resource.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Take your family. It's very.
Make sure you're talking to your
touching.
kids. Make sure you're keeping on top of what's going on.
Yep. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will talk to Sharon New from the fire department about summer safety. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we will be right back.
Well, welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we're delighted to have a very special guest with us, Ms. Sharon New from our county's fire department. Sharon, welcome to Week in Review. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Having a good show, good summer. Yes, we're going to have a good show. Are you having a good summer?
I am having a very good summer, yes.
Good, good. Well, we have a lot of really important things to talk to you about today. But first, let's get into what it is that you do with the department. You are a program specialist. So tell us about a typical day.
Okay, well, I do work for the Anne Arundel County Fire Department, and I often refer to myself as an education specialist because that seems to kind of narrow in what more of I do. My background is actually public health. I have a master's in health science. So I've been with the county for 8 years. I had to sit and count on my fingers this morning. This coming January will actually be 8 years.
8 years.
So yeah, so I manage the Office of Life Safety and Injury Prevention. And so what that means is that from K to 5th grade, I will go invited into the schools and do fire safety curriculum, fire safety messaging. I also go for, again, invited community groups, home association boards, a lot of senior centers, a lot of senior groups, and talk about general fire safety, evacuation, drill planning.
I feel like you're my twin, because this is all the stuff I do for the recycling division. You're my fire twin.
Well, then we should do some collaboration, though. Okay.
We should come up with a song, and I'm all about this.
Okay.
Yeah, let's collaborate.
I am too. We could do that. Okay. I also run the Juvenile Fire Setters Intervention Program. So what that is for those young people who may have gotten curious and started a fire, let's say in their backyard or somebody else's backyard, caught the sighting of a house on fire because a wind came and spread it, which is, I had a young man that happened to that did $50,000 worth of damage. Or sometimes it's intentional, and sometimes it's been cited by the fire marshal's office. Sometimes my program is that first step if it's not too serious a situation. So we've been doing some wonderful workshops. We've done 2 or 3 this year. I do it with our chaplain and a volunteer firefighter, John Long. And so he helps me, and it's just wonderful. And we have neighbors come, we have other friends of the actual people who are supposed to be there, parents, and I think one time we had like 12 people for a workshop. And everybody leaves, it's like, I'm so glad I went to this. So we're very proud of that program. I'm proud of that program.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah. And then the other thing I do, I'm becoming more and more involved in fall prevention, since we have Department of Aging here. And I've actually just been asked to join the state coalition on the free falls. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that yet, but yes, so I'll be joining that. And then, of course, we always have the smoke alarm outreach program. That's my baby a little bit.
Wow, so, you got a lot going on, girl.
Yeah,
that's
tell my
great.
boss that. No.
Yeah, you know.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about summer safety. I know this is kind of a broad topic, so why don't we start off with swimming pools?
Okay, well, on our website, AnneArundelCounty.org/fire, and if you'll drop down to public education, there's going to be several different brochures that you can print off, and one of those will be on swimming pools. It's a checklist for safety.
So folks can pull this up right at home.
Absolutely, and this will tell you about the code requirements. Excuse me, thank you.
You're fine.
Code requirements regarding fencing and gates and doors, step ladders, things like that. But something I've been seeing quite a bit on social media is the signs of drowning, because you can have somebody drowning with 200 kids swimming around him. And this one video that I saw, the lifeguard just barely caught it and got him rescued in time, but just barely saw it because there's so much activity. So if I could just very quickly just go over the signs of drowning. So hair over the forehead, okay? Head is tilted back, trying to breathe probably. They're trying to yell for help, but they can't. Their body is vertical, they're straight up and down, and they're doing ladder motions, okay? They're looking like they're trying to climb a ladder, and they can't wave for help, all right? So those are all the things. It may just seem like that's just a kid playing, but if you just take a few extra seconds to look at that, it sure doesn't hurt to either have somebody go out there to him or yourself go out there to him and say, are you in distress, are you okay? So, and of course, then what you want to do, pull them out of there, call 911, and if necessary, start CPR.
Wow, and speaking of kids, hot cars can be very dangerous, even for pets as well. Can you tell us some safety tips for that?
Absolutely. Let me get to my handy dandy notes here. So 19 children have died this year so far in the U.S. from being left in hot cars. I was not able to get on short notice how many in Maryland. There may not have been any in Maryland. I don't think there's been any in Anne Arundel County yet. But I think in the past 2 to 3 years we've had probably 2 or 3. I could be talking out of turn, but it seems like I remember something like that. So that's about 2 children per week in a hot vehicle on average in the summer.
I'm sorry, that is so senseless and
It-
inexcusable.
absolutely. That's from the National Safety Council, yeah. So even when it's no hotter than 70 degrees, and in an hour, the temperature in a closed vehicle can be at dangerous levels, 100+ degrees. We recently saw just this week on Facebook, we were talking those 2 puppies that were, and they got the temperature inside was 167 degrees.
That's unbelievable.
And it was just, the dogs made it. I don't know how, you know. So the majority of children who die in heat-related complications for being inside were left by their parents who accidentally forgot about them. Actually, 17% of those are intentional, so those are prosecuted. But there's a new national campaign called Look Before You Lock. Look Before You Lock. You can Google that and you can find information on that. But just some quick safety tips on that. Never leave a child alone in a car, not even for a minute. Just don't ever do it. Not to mention just the safety of them being kidnapped or something, right? Yeah. So make it a habit to check the back seat when you lock your car. Create reminders for yourself. Put your purse in the back seat. You know, put the groceries there. Put your phone. That way you won't text. Even better, right? Even better, right?
Good tip.
Right.
2 birds.
Yes.
Exactly. If you see a child alone in a car, call 911. Okay. And then you have to decide whether you would like to break the window or not. But
Yeah.
Can I also add on that, Sharon?
Yeah.
And you even mentioned the puppies, but child or pet?
absolutely,
Because
absolutely, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I have friends, they are looking in parking lots.
Oh,
they will break a window.
absolutely.
On days like today.
Absolutely.
So-
Oh, you walk out. I just walked out of the store. It was a little bit early for this, and just the heat just hits you in the
Right.
face. And this is
And
almost like
imagine
Texas.
in a car.
It's absurd. Yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
It really
and,
is.
and heat can be dangerous for all ages, even older adults. I
Oh,
just spoke
absolutely.
with Captain Russ Davies about that this week.
Yeah.
But heat is so dangerous. But there are other fire tips that I know you have and you want to talk about. Can you talk about some of the other safety tips you have?
Sure, thank you. So one thing that we've been working on this past year, and this is in the realm of fire, but you're not going to think, oh, that doesn't sound like a fire safety tip to me. But when somebody calls 911, and they're going to be asked by the operator, what is your name and where do you live? Well, when I go into second grades or third grades, let's say I have a presentation to 100 second graders, and I will ask how many of you can tell me your address, starting with the house number, the street, the city, state, and zip. And only about 75% can do that. So I will actually have would somebody like to tell me their address? And even those who think they know their address, they get it all confused. They don't even know how to do the apartment number. They don't even know what city they live in many times. I am astounded by this. So basically, 25 out of 100 second graders will not know their address. I have talked with fifth graders, actually on a fairly regular basis, who don't know their address either. And I've even talked with some adults who don't know their address.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and if you talk to anybody in dispatch, the fire department, the police department, they will tell you these same things, that most people don't know where they live for some reason, okay?
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating a bit, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's something I now add to my regular fire safety talk to second and third graders, is know your address.
Learn your address.
We
And
can't
we were
help you.
talking
We
off-
can't help you unless we know where you're at.
Right, we were
Yeah.
talking off camera. I think that was one of the things that was drilled
Yes.
in my mind as
Yes.
a child. Like one of the very first things, our home phone number, this was before cell
Well,
phones.
You probably still remember it, right?
I know my home phone number,
Yeah.
and I, of course, know my address, which is now my parents' house.
Right.
But
Right.
still,
Right.
you had to know
Right.
that.
Well, think about how we don't have landlines anymore, and mom has a cell phone, dad has a cell phone, maybe grandma has a cell phone. You know, and
Lots of numbers.
Yeah. Do you know maybe your spouse's or boyfriend or best? Exactly. So if the grid goes down and you can't charge up your cell phone for like 3 weeks, can you even call mom? Yeah, exactly. So I'll kind of make a game out of it with the teachers. Teachers, do you know your husband's phone number right now, right now? And they'll go, no. I said, see? So have everything written on a nice sheet of paper. Put your address on the front of the fridge, everybody's cell number, because it may be that you might have a visitor and the person who owns the home, maybe they hit their head, they fall, you can't wake them up. That's how I approach it with a second grader. Somebody falls, you can't wake them up, you need to call 911. And if they're visiting, they won't know the address. The parents
What
will
a good
probably
tip.
right. So put that all information on the front. So that's not necessarily like fire safety, but it's fire safety.
Right.
That's a really
So,
important
yeah,
one.
it's injury prevention too. Yeah.
You have some good events coming up about car seat safety. Can you
yes.
share those, where they are, when?
So I volunteered to be the Anne Arundel County contact for KISS, which is Kids in Safety Seats, through the now state department. How do they say it? The state Maryland Health Department. Used to be DHMH, but they changed their name, thank God, on July 1st, you know. So August 14th, at our Station 30, which is the Armiger Station on Mountain Road. So that's 304 Mountain Road. I should not have done that just now, actually. They need to go through me because we just can't have people show up. So they'll kill me just now.
Watch out, Sharon, first.
Right.
This is Pasadena area.
Yes, it's for Pasadena. This is August 14th. The next one is not until November 13th. So if you're due in September, like I had a young woman, you know, contact me, this is her last opportunity. There are other agencies who do this, of course, you know, but this is the last opportunity in Anne Arundel County that I think we're going to have until November. So if you need, you have to be able to put in your car seat before they let you go home from the hospital.
Okay, so this is required. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Not necessarily this class I'm saying, but you need to know how to install a car seat.
This is it.
This
practice.
Yeah.
Practice.
So if you're due,
August 14th.
Yeah. August 14th, call me, we'll go
what's
from
your
there.
phone number, Sharon?
Okay. I'm going to so regret this. No. 410-222-8303. 410-222-8303. That's also a good number for a smoke alarm program. The smoke alarm program is more for seniors. I've never really turned anybody away, particularly a single mom with like a lot of kids or something.
Right.
If you can afford a smoke alarm, it just helps us. They're donated to us, so it just helps us have a little extra. We're happy to come and install them, however. So if you want to buy one, help us out a little, help the county out a little bit, we'll come and install. If you have any questions, you need the battery change, they're too high, whatever, call us. It's not an issue. It's not an issue.
Fantastic. Well, Sharon, thank you so much. You're a wealth of knowledge. We need to have you back in the studio soon.
I agree.
I'm thinking Christmas time with the Christmas trees and lights and all of that.
Favorite subject.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back.
Favorite subject.
So.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the rest of your summer.
I will.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Nice to meet you both.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back. And when was the last time you checked out the WB&A Trail? Michelle Corkadel did, and she filed this report. Michelle?
Thank you, Kristin and Dave. Well, adventures in the air in Anne Arundel County, and what a great way to spend the day with the family on one of Anne Arundel County's beautiful maintained trails. Joining me is our trail superintendent, Adam Smith. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So we are out here today in the beautiful woods on a gorgeous drop-dead day, hiking through the WB&A Trail here in Gambrills, Maryland. And why don't you share with us a little bit about this trail?
Well, currently the trail is 7.1 miles of paved trail, going from Odenton down to almost to the Patuxent River where we are today. And it's visited by approximately 150,000 people a year.
150,000 people a year? Well, we want to add to that number, most certainly indeed. And so what can a family expect when they come to visit the trails?
Depending upon what section you're on, you have beautiful river views, wooded sections like this with great wildlife watching opportunities, and also exercise opportunities.
So it sounds like we need to get out our bird watching binoculars.
Correct.
When we're down here. And then what are some of the other features on the other portions of the trail which we're going to be visiting later on?
Again, lots of community tie-ins. We have a new parking lot coming up. Hopefully, if all goes well with construction timing, it will be open this fall off of Patuxent River Road. That'll be our main parking area. And at the north end of it, you have the Odenton area, which has lots of dining opportunities.
Wonderful. And so we have another even bigger capital project and program in partnership with Prince George's County to do something on this particular trail. Could you share that with the folks?
Sure. Today we're at one of the two proposed locations where the bridge crossing the Patuxent River and joining up to the Prince George's County side could be. The other location is just north of here, and it will join the two systems and allow people to cross over back and forth between them, and basically doubling our trail network.
So it sounds like in addition to hiking that there may be some biking opportunities as well.
Lots of biking opportunities, yes.
Okay, well, let's hit the trail, and as we go through, hopefully we can point out some of the assets of this particular trail and land, and hopefully maybe you can grab the family one afternoon, something to do, and come back here where it's a lot cooler in the shade too, under the wood canopy. So let's hit the trail, Adam.
All right, let's go. That bird right there. That bird right there.
So Adam, here we are, we've arrived at the water, and why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the scenery around us?
Well, we have here one of the feeders into the Patuxent River, and we have some wonderful native plants here. We have a lot of spatterdock below us here at the water level, river birch, a little higher than that in the back. There's even some submerged aquatic vegetation growing in the water as well. Lots of dragonflies, tons of birds calling and call this place home. It's a wonderful spot to come and visit.
So the dragonfly, I understand, only lives for a few short days and eats thousands of bugs. Is that rumor true?
They do eat a lot of bugs. In fact, one of their nicknames is the mosquito hawk because they love to chomp on those mosquitoes, which there are a lot of here today.
Well, I know my kids love them when they arrived in the yard to chase around, but we got to make sure that they've got a job to do too, huh?
They do every day.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's get back to the trail and hit some of the other areas. So here we are, approaching pretty close to the end of our trail hiking for the day. And I wanted to ask you, if a family wanted to hit the trails, they should probably be a little prepared of what to expect and make sure they pack accordingly. Could you share with the folks some tips and tricks of how to make their trail experience the best possible as well as safe?
Sure. What you want to do is always make sure you have some water with you to drink because you can get dehydrated easily, especially this time of the year. Make sure you bring a snack with you and a cell phone.
Great. And they should probably let somebody know on the planet that they've hit the trail, correct?
That's always a good idea too, especially if you're single, you're going out on your own. We're closing the parks down, we find a car, we try to find out who that is, and if you've let someone else know, it's easy for us to find out.
Wonderful. So it's time to pack up the family and hit the trail. Thank you so much for sharing just a little piece of many, many miles of trail that Anne Arundel County has for their residents.
Thank you. Yeah, over 35 miles of paved trail right now, and again, we're on the WB&A, probably one of our more advanced trails because of the hills involved and the switchbacks. The B&A Trail is mostly flat, a couple little hills, easy riding though.
So when you see a sign like this right behind us, we know that this is probably for a little bit more advanced, particularly in bike.
Definitely, because when you go down, you have to come back up.
That's right, what goes down does have to come back up. Thank you so much for joining us. And where can folks find more information on all of our trails?
Always the county website, www.aacounty.org.
Back to you.
Thanks, Michelle, and thanks to Adam Smith for the tour. Have you been out to WB&A recently?
No, not recently.
It's
Have
nice
they
to see,
changed
yeah,
it?
so-
I think that the last time I was on the show, we talked to John Corin, and
Yes.
he's on the Bicycle Commission, and he said that they're wanting to add on
Was
to
promising
it. Add
from
a
Michelle's
bridge,
report,
right.
so yeah,
All right.
very exciting
All right,
stuff.
Thanks, Michelle.
Well, if you're not out and about, if you consider yourself more of a couch potato, and there's nothing wrong with that. We get hot temperatures. Sometimes you need to camp inside.
And what do you do inside?
What do you do? Right. It used to be, I think, Brandi, that once it was summertime, we had no luck with finding anything good on TV.
I agree.
You know, a lot of your shows that you used to turn to, they're off for the summer season. And then our old pal Netflix came along, changed the game. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we stay inside
stay
a little
inside,
longer.
Netflix and chill, literally,
Yes.
right?
And it's so hot out right now. It feels so good to sit inside, watch a little TV, veg out a little bit.
And it's a cheaper option rather than.
It is. Are you watching anything good on Netflix right now?
Okay, now you got to tell me, are you into Glow?
I love Glow.
Glow is awesome.
It's so fun. If you
So
love
fun.
the 80s outfits
Yes.
or wrestling,
Yes.
it's
Glow
awesome.
is, of course, gorgeous ladies of wrestling. wrestling, and it's based on the 1980s
Yes.
series. So it's kind of a documentary, but it's more got a little more fiction to it. They've got their own cast, and fantastic show. So that's really good. Stranger Things was, of course, something that did you ever watch that?
I did, but I never finished the end
Oh,
of
you
it.
gotta finish that. Good thing you have Netflix. And if you haven't watched it, get caught up. Because the second season's coming back Halloween weekend, which is too perfect. I love that series. That's fantastic. But I love these nods to, 80s. That was a great decade.
Oh,
the
it was.
music,
It
the
still is.
fashion.
It still
right.
is.
So
Never-
it's fun to see these nods to the 80s.
Yep. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about it. If you don't have, of course, HBO, there's HBO Go.
Yes.
So that's an option for you. Now, I know nothing, but you watch, and my fiance watches. I did hear that we had a pop star sighting on Game of Thrones. Ed Sheeran was on.
Ed Sheeran. And he sang.
He sang.
Yes.
But I'm also hearing from our producer that it was not very good.
Sorry, Ed.
Yeah. Yeah.
We still love you. We
Yeah,
do.
we do. We
Still
love you.
love him.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
All right, well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook or YouTube by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county. We will see you next time.